Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to our focus activity on school days. My name is Alex, and I'm today here with Richard.
Hi,
So,
nice to meet you
Richard,
guys.
hi.
Sorry, Alex, yeah?
Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, sorry, guys. My name's Richard, and I'm from Wales originally, and I'm a teacher in Milan Maravili, with my partner in crime, young Alex. And we normally teach at companies, so we are corporate teachers, but we also do some work for the school. And I have been living in Milan for about 4.5 years, I think. Yeah, about 4.5 years. And what about you, Alex? Are you from Milan?
Yes, I'm from Milan. I am bilingual, so I am American and Italian. So, welcome to whoever is watching us right now. Please tell your name, write your name in the chat, and tell us where you're from. So, like I was
So,
saying,
Alex,
I'm bilingual, and my mom is American, and my father is Italian.
okay. All right. Very good. Wait, I forgot to ask you yesterday, where's your mum from in America?
My mom is from Chicago.
Ah, okay. And have you been to Chicago?
Yes, I have several times, especially
Good
when I was
city?
a small.
Good city?
It's a good city, yes.
All right. I've
Very
never been to
big city.
Chicago. My friend rates Chicago. He likes Chicago. Okay. So today's focus is on school days. Alex, do you have any good memories about your school days? Bad memories? What were they like for you?
Well, generally, I have good memories. I was quite lucky with my teachers, so I always quite enjoyed going to school. Yeah, maybe I was something of like a nerd because I used to study a lot.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I actually enjoyed school and especially studying languages, studying literature, that sort of stuff. How about you?
Hated it. Absolutely hated it. Hated school. No, I'm serious. No, I did. I hated it. Absolutely
Wow.
hated it. I just I couldn't wait to leave. I couldn't wait to just leave school. I couldn't understand it. Even from a very young age, my mum always tells me that when I was going to primary school, I used to cry all the time. Couldn't understand
Oh,
why I couldn't be at home and play. When I was in secondary school, I no, I just hated it. But
oh,
I loved college.
oh, that's interesting.
I don't
Why did
think
you
it
love
was
college?
because it wasn't as strict. It
Oh,
wasn't as
see,
strict. I don't think I liked the school education. It's not. It wasn't so much the learning process, yes, of learning things. I just don't think I liked the strictness of school. College, we were treated a bit more like adults, and if you did something good, if you didn't do it, then it's your fault. You were a bit more. So
responsible.
yeah, I had a great time in college. Uh, I didn't do very well in school, but I did very well in college. So I think each to their own,
Yeah,
And
probably it
also,
was just the education system that was different, so it wasn't
yeah, I
appropriate for
mean,
you.
yeah, maybe that's something we can speak about later. The difference between, or actually, we are going to look at something to do with education in the next slide, I believe. Shall we go for the next slide?
Yes, in the meantime, we have more people watching us, so please write your names in the chat room and tell us where you're from. We're
Yeah,
curious.
yeah. Also, guys, if you can, being that we're talking about education, and so you've been trained or you've learned to do something, mention your jobs. Tell us what you do. Yeah, where you're from, name, and maybe what's your
about
work,
you. Yes.
or even what you're studying. You could have some students watching, so they are in the education system at the moment. Okay, so what's the next slide?
So in the meantime, school days. So in this focus activity, we're going to remember our school days and learn to talk about them. We will also be learning how to use used to and would to talk about something that has happened in the past. And finally, we will be studying some school and phrasal verb vocabulary. So,
okay, Alex,
good morning, Cinzia, in the meantime.
We have some really interesting comments here. We have Cynthia and Tatiana. Cynthia, good morning. She's coming from Bologna. Oh my God, one of my favorite cities in Italy, and that's true. And she's a shop assistant. Great, so you're working. And we have Tatiana, originally from St. Petersburg.
Beautiful city. I love St. Petersburg. I've been there, and it's probably one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
You've been there, yeah?
Yes, once.
Okay, all right. And she's been living in Lyon for 3 years. I guess Lyon, France. Yes, my geography is terrible. You can tell I didn't go to school. And Cynthia sells clothes. Okay. Any particular clothes, Cynthia? If you want to drop us a message, that might be interesting. Okay.
Yes, let's go on. And here we are. So let's talk about, school days.
Okay. Shall I do this one at the beginning?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So this slide is about school days, and it asks us, what kind of school did you go to? So, for example, you could go to a public school, a private school, or a religious school, maybe a Roman Catholic school or something. Alex, for your information, a public school in British English is also known as a state school.
I see. Yes.
We call them state schools or public schools. Okay. I went to a state school. Other types of schools, this is maybe a little bit more unusual, but I'm Welsh. I come from Wales. So we do have the Welsh language. And I went to a bilingual school also. Like you, Alex, I'm bilingual, but I'm bilingual in Welsh and English. So when I was a child, I went to a bilingual primary school and a bilingual secondary school where some of the subjects were in Welsh and some of the subjects were in English.
I see. That's interesting. It's nice that they conserve both languages.
Yeah, now it's better. When I was a child, it wasn't so common, but okay. And also, we do have another type of school now in Britain, maybe more like a school or college, which we call vocational schools. Any idea what a vocational school is, Alex?
It contains the word vocation inside.
Mm-hmm.
So probably it's something that allows you to learn a job.
That's right, exactly. Different to university or at school where you just learn subjects. In a vocational school, you're actually learning on how to do a real job. Like, say, for example, you learn to be an electrician, you learn to be a plumber, or maybe a carpenter, something like that. Okay, we haven't, just before I ask the next question, Alex, we have a couple of comments from Cynthia. Cynthia sells clothes for girls and boys. Very nice. And Tatiana, okay, nice comment there. Just be unhappy in elementary school, but when I got older, I liked the school very much. By the way, I went to the state art school. Oh wow,
Beautiful, Tatiana. I'm quite impressed. Yeah,
very
I
good.
studied languages. So when I was small, I used to go to an elementary school in Milan. Then I moved and I continued the rest of my studies in a small town near Como. And so I actually grew up in the Italian school system. And I basically studied languages. And then when I was in university, I spent a year in Washington, D.C. For my university thesis. So yeah, I kind of had a little bit of both systems.
Okay. Tatiana mentions she studied art. So art was her subject, which moves us on to the next question quite nicely. What was your favorite subject then, Alex? Was it languages?
Yes, but I actually really loved biology.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked science. I hated physics totally. I know they're related, but
Me also.
I seriously had problems with physics. But
Same
I
here.
loved biology. You know, the body, the animals, the cells. I just loved that.
I'll tell you a true story about physics. Yes, like you, I did the sciences, I did physics, and I had no idea. I couldn't understand it, but I took it as a qualification, and
Oh,
I failed. I failed. Yes, but I was determined to pass because I just didn't understand it. But I really, and it took me 3 attempts to pass. In the end, I passed
wow, that's
with
quite.
only
Yeah.
with only a C grade, but I eventually passed.
Yeah, but
And
you're very determined. You must have been quite
I don't know. I
stubborn
think
when
I
you were small.
or stupid. I think I was very stupid. Your least favorite?
Yeah, my least favorite, definitely physics.
Yeah.
I just really managed. Like I said, I was kind of a nerd in school. Um, we'll see what nerd means in a while. But anyway, I basically studied a lot. But for physics, I just barely managed to pass. And that was enough for me because no way. Oh, and Tatiana's answered in the meantime. So her favorite subject was literature, French. Very good. I studied French as well.
Yeah.
Sculpture, painting,
I
philosophy,
mhm.
and art history. Beautiful. Oh, what a lovely subject.
I studied sculpture, believe it or not, and I'm not making this up. This is true. Yeah. When I went to college, I did some normal subjects, and to fill my timetable, yes, because you had to do so many hours in the college. To fill my timetable, I had to find a subject to fill that, and I'm not very good at art. I'm terrible. But I did actually study sculpture, and I really enjoyed it. And I did get a qualification in sculpture.
That's
Again,
beautiful.
not very good, but
See, this is already a difference with the Italian system. We didn't get to choose our subjects. So there weren't labs or other courses that we could add into our curricula. Basically, we had it already all planned out. And that is something that I kind of missed not having experience.
okay. Cynthia hated maths. Yes, same
It seems
here.
like a lot of people today didn't like math when they were in school. So in the meantime, if you have joined us on this webinar, please write a comment and tell us who you are and which were your favorite or least favorite subjects in school.
Okay. No, in the British system, I mean, of course, you have to get good grades, but from the grades, then you can choose subjects. Yes, and in the colleges, in the tertiary colleges, which you can go to when you are 16, 17. You can maybe choose some subjects you haven't done before. Maybe it's changed slightly now because I'm a little bit older, so I'm going from my own experience. So if there are any British people watching that would like to add or confirm or deny that information, I would be grateful. Okay, and what else were you good at school, Alex?
Well, I like arts as well, so I was pretty good at drawing and painting. But yeah, and also I loved volleyball. So I used to play in a team when I was at school.
Okay, volleyball is very popular in Italy, yes?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, not so much in Britain, but I know it's very popular here. Okay, all right,
Okay,
guys.
so
Thanks for your comments. Keep them coming.
yes. If you guys want to add something, please write it in the comments.
Yeah, and any questions also, please ask. And if you want to ask us any personal questions, not a problem. Okay, shoot, Alex.
Yes. So we saw. Probably you've heard while we were speaking, we were referring to the past using used to. So I used to do something, or would. So now let's look a little bit more carefully when we use these two expressions. So in the case of used to, we can use used to in the past to talk about something that was true but isn't anymore. Let's look at an example. I used to be shy, now I'm more confident. So the condition of being confident is something that is true now but wasn't before. Also, we can use used to talk about something which happened regularly in the past but doesn't anymore. Again, let's look at an example. I used to skip classes with my friends and go to the mall. So in the past, I regularly skipped school and went to do something else.
Okay, so we're talking about the past action, yes?
Yes.
And it happened more than once, yes? So it was a regular action, yes? So maybe I could use an example. I used to visit my grandmother every Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And for the first one, we use it to talk about something that was true in the past but isn't anymore. So I could say, I used to have hair, which was true. now I don't have hair, but it was true. I'll have to show you a photo. Yes. Okay. All right. Thanks for that explanation, Alex. What about the next one?
Yes, and let's look now more carefully at would. So would is usually nostalgic. Nostalgic means that it expresses kind of that feeling of desire or missing something that was true, what was existing in the past. So we can see in this example, we would stay after school and hang out for hours. Now, the meaning is exactly like we used to stay out after school, but it kind of adds that feeling of missing something that happened in the past. Also, as you can see on the banner, would is used only with verbs that express an activity. So can you talk about that a little bit more, Richard?
Yes, so basically, we only use would with verbs to describe an action. We wouldn't use would with verbs that describe feelings or emotions. So, for example, you wouldn't use would with the verb to be, or, for example, to have, because then you are turning it into a conditional. You're not using it as a past action. So, for example, you could say something like, when I was a child, I used to have a dog. Okay, which is fine. We're talking about something that was true in the past. You wouldn't say, when I was a child, I would have a dog, because then the would there becomes a conditional sentence. So, guys, please remember, only use would with, as Alex has pointed out, activity verbs.
Perfect.
In all honesty, if you're unsure, just use used to, because used to can be used with all verbs. Okay?
Exactly. Very good suggestion.
And to
remember,
be honest,
sorry.
Yeah, go on, sorry. No, go, Alex.
I was just wanting to remind you that used to and would are always followed by the infinitive. So if you want, please write us a sentence in the chat using either would or used to.
Perfect. As I was saying, Alex, to be honest, most British people use used to more often than not anyway. Yeah. Don't think, if you're not using would, that your English is bad just because you're using used to more.
Exactly.
In a natural environment, which the MyS method is trying to teach you, we normally use used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
We have a new addition to our group. We have
Hello, Simone. Welcome.
And he's from Parma. That's a city I really want to visit in Italy, because I've been told that that is a very nice city.
It is. It is. It's a beautiful city.
Simone, what do you do, Simone? See if you can send us a comment with whether you are studying or whether you have a job. Okay, Alex.
Yes. So let's look now at some vocabulary that we can use when talking about school. So on the right, you can see a list of terms that we can use when we're talking about school. So how about the first one, Richard?
Okay, well, in this, the first one, we have pupils and students. Just to let you guys know, in Britain, the words pupils and students are used maybe in a different context to maybe some other countries in the world. For us, pupils only go to school. Okay, students go to college or university. So
that's particular because, for example, in the US, there's no different. I mean, we don't use pupils at all. We only refer to students throughout the whole school system. So I can be a student in elementary school and I can be a student in university.
So you don't use pupils at all when you talk about school?
At all, yeah.
Wow. Okay. No, we use pupils when we talk about primary school children and secondary school children. So basically, we're sort of making a distinction between children and young adults, yes, or teenagers or the late teenagers. Okay, truant.
Okay, so we've just turned on a banner below that clarifies the meaning of to play truant. Well, first of all, the verb is to play. To play truant. And as you can see, there's a difference between British English and American English. So in American English, we can say to play hooky. And the meaning is exactly the same as to skip school. So when you were small, when you were in school, did you play truant, Richard? Your teachers are not watching you right now, so you can be honest. Come on.
Speak to my mother. Ask my mother why I did so badly at school. Yes, I did. I was terrible. In my last years at school, when I was 15 or 16, I did it a few times. Yes, and I never got caught, so that was all right.
That's what you know.
Yeah, well, the results of my exams showed, I think. But all very good, Alex. Just to clarify, in this case, to skip school, which we went to a little bit further, means you miss school. You don't go. Yes? Okay, when you skip the class or when you skip the school, you make a conscious decision not to go to that lesson or for the whole school day. The next one, a troublemaker.
So were you a troublemaker?
Next time we choose a different focus, okay? Was I a troublemaker? Maybe a little bit. Not in a bad way. I think maybe in a way that didn't cause any harm, but we used to mess around, fool around in the classes a bit, cause a little bit of trouble. Yes. Okay, Alex. A nerd. You've mentioned
yes.
a couple of times today that you were a nerd.
A little bit, yes.
So what's a nerd?
Yeah, to be a nerd means to study a lot, and it can sometimes be similar to the teacher's pet. So I wasn't a teacher's pet, but I was very close probably to it. So I normally got good grades, I studied a lot, I behaved. So basically I did everything that you weren't doing.
Well, they say opposites attract, you never know. Yeah. Okay. So we looked at nerd, and so then we come on to teacher's pet.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you weren't a teacher's pet. Very good. Tatiana started to look at the exercise. Great.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Very good job.
Okay. We'll just finish this, then we'll have a look at some of the comments. Teacher's pet basically is maybe the person in the class that was always being too nice to the teacher, maybe giving them gifts, maybe asking, "Oh, can I do something for you, sir?"
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, and you think, "Oh my God," like they were always trying to get on the side of the teacher by trying to do things for them or give them presents. Yes. Okay, and well-behaved, Al?
Well, well-behaved means to behave well. So it's an adjective. So a student can be well-behaved, or a person can be well-behaved. And yeah, I mean, it means to behave well. So yes, I was well-behaved in school, I guess.
So it's good behavior, yes?
Yes, good behavior. So in the meantime, please, welcome Antonio. Please give us the answers to the exercise in the meantime.
Great, guys. I love your comments. Keep them coming. Very nice. Good information here. Simone says sorry, I try to get the pronunciation correct. He's a sales representative. And he also tells us when he was a student, he preferred to stay at home and not to play truant. He was reliable. Okay. And Antonio tells us he used to be a teacher's pet. That's all right. Thanks for your honesty. That's great. Yeah, I would sit down on the first seats on the coach when we moved for a class. Very good. No, that's a really good example. I always remember people who were teachers' pets. Yes, they wouldn't leave the teacher's side. So when you did go on a school trip, they would have to sit in the front seat. Okay,
Okay,
let's go through Al, let's go through the exercises.
exactly.
Tatiana's given 2 answers first. Yes.
Okay, so let's check number 1. So I was a big nerd. Very good, Tatiana. Very well done. So I would get straight A's. So what do you think straight A's means?
Well, an A for me sounds like is a good mark. Yes. Normally, when you have an exam, the grades go from A to D, from the A being the best to D being the worst. Yes. So if you get in straight A's, you are consistently getting the best marks. Yes, Alex, correct?
Yes, exactly. In Italy, the system is different for grading. So we don't get letters A, B, C, but we get numbers, especially in high school. So the best mark is a 10 and the worst mark is a 2. And a pass is with a 6.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Let's
Okay, so
look at
you have a quite
No,
you have
sorry.
you have quite a big range.
Yes.
In Britain also, you can also add a plus or a minus.
I
So you
see.
can have an A plus or an A minus.
I
Again,
see.
so an A plus is slightly better than an A. An A minus is slightly less than an A for all the grades. Okay, so let's continue.
Right, so we have 2 people who have given answers for number 2, so let's check right away. So
And they're
number
both
2
correct.
is
Very good.
I was a teacher's pet. Very well done, everybody. So no one liked me except the teacher, of course. I thought other
Antonio?
students were just jealous, but I was probably very annoying. Oh dear.
Perfect. Well done, Antonio. Good. All right.
Yes, very good. And let's go check number 3. So I had a ton of friends. What does a ton of friends mean? Ton.
Very good. A ton of friends. Do you think that's now a ton is a measurement? Yeah. Okay. And is it a big measurement or a small measurement, Alex? Can you remember?
I think it's a very big measurement.
Exactly. It's a weight measurement, and the weight is very, very heavy. So we use this as an expression, I had a ton of something, to mean I have a lot of. Yes, that's all it is. And in this case, we're talking in the past, sorry. So I had a lot of friends, or I had many friends. Yes, okay,
Exactly.
so that's all it is. Okay. I had a ton of friends, but I was and used to really torture my parents, teachers, and even friends. Okay.
I was a big troublemaker. Very good, guys. So, yes, troublemaker is the person who makes trouble. And used to really torture my parents, my teachers, and even friends. Oh boy.
Okay, do you want to do number 4?
And Antonio confirms that his friends were jealous about him. Oh,
yeah, and very
jealous
good.
Of him, sorry.
Yeah, no, very, very good, Alex. I just looked at that comment also. Antonio, very good.
Yes.
And in this case, you would use jealous of, not
exactly, jealous
jealous
of.
by. Jealous of is perfect.
Yes.
Okay, and I was mostly well behaved, except for occasionally. Now we had the verb here to skip school. Okay, so what I put here, I was mostly well behaved. No, okay, to skip school, no, we would use a continuous form there. Okay, all right, skipping school, because we concentrated on the activity that was happening. Okay, okay, to go surfing. Sounds great.
So very well done, guys. Thank you for giving the answers and participating in this webinar. So let's go on now to the next slide.
Okay. Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it, Alex?
Please go, Richard.
Okay. Break time. What is break time? What type of breaks do you have in school? Alex?
Breaks can be, it's a moment of pause between the lessons.
Perfect.
And normally there's a longer break between halfway through the morning.
How many breaks did you have at your school?
Well, I used to go also in the afternoon, so we would have one break in the morning, halfway, and one break at lunch.
Ah, okay. So the halfway break was less time than the lunchtime, or the same time?
It was less
the duration.
time. I don't remember the exact duration, but it was probably around 15 minutes.
The same as us. We used to go to school at 9 o'clock and finish at 3:30. 10:30 until 10:45. We had one break in the morning just for a coffee, or we used to play football even in 15 minutes or something. Yeah, and then at 12:30 we would have our lunch break. So we would have two breaks during the day. The lunch break was from 12:30 to 1:30. Okay, so we used to or would to talk about what you did at school during break time, the sports you played and now don't, and what you were like at school. So, for example, I used to play basketball but quit because of an injury. Okay, next example shows us, I think, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
How about you do some examples? Give us some examples. Well, Tatiana, very well done.
Very good. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Give us some example with used to or would. Yes, so Tatiana says, I used to be a nerd and well-behaved at school. And Antonio is asking if there are any idioms or expressions to say truant or skip school.
Well, yeah, we found, I'm going to type these just so you get the spelling. There was an expression in Wales, because I'm Welsh, which when I looked this up, I wasn't sure whether I was incorrect or correct. And when I looked it up, I was correct. We had here the verb to mitch school is the same as to play truant or to skip school. This expression comes from Ireland and Wales, yes, or you can also use, we used to use it with like a phrasal verb with a preposition, to mitch off school. And then you would have the expression, I'm just typing these so you can see them, guys. A bunk off, also. And the last one, skive.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if because I was like Tatiana, a nerd, I am not familiar with these expressions. Remember that they are used in Ireland and Wales, so not everybody may be familiar with them. They're quite specific.
Yeah. To skive, though, I think to skive is used everywhere. I'm not sure in America, but to skive is quite normal. To mitch is very particular to Ireland and Wales. Yes. What did you used to do during break time then, Alex? Any examples?
Well, I used to walk around the school. We had a nice park. So I would walk and breathe some air and talk with my friends. And yeah, when we had the afternoon, we would stop by to get some food. We didn't have a canteen, so we had to bring our own food from home.
What's a canteen?
Canteen, spelled CANTEEN. A canteen is where you eat in a school.
Like
So
a
it's a
cafeteria.
service. Yeah, exactly.
Very good, Tatiana. I skipped school once. All right, guys, you guys are providing some really good examples, and your grammar is 100% correct. Very good. You got the concept correct, Tatiana, and the expression, and also Antonio, perfect. You're using the grammar that we've just looked at in the lesson. Great.
Yes.
In our lunch breaks, yes, we would play tennis, or we used to play tennis, and maybe football. And of course, in the majority of British schools, we do have canteens. So we used to eat lunch in the canteen. Okay, should we look at some phrasal verbs?
Yes, exactly. So here we are. Here we are with some phrasal verbs. We know that everybody loves phrasal verbs. It's a love and hate relationship. But here are some phrasal verbs, and try to match them with their meaning.
Okay, Antonio, this is new to me. Very good comment there. Canteen is definitely a false friend.
Yes.
What is canteen in Italian then? Because I don't speak Italian.
It sounds like a place which is below a house where you store all the stuff that you have and that you use rarely. So it definitely is a false friend. Very well done.
No, I know. I have heard it actually. I'd forgotten. The word in English is cellar. Yeah, it's a room or an area underneath the house where, I mean, a cellar could also be, you could have a room in a cellar. We used to have a cellar in a house in London, which was like a living room. It was converted into a living room. But a lot of people use a cellar to store things. For example, wine. Yes? You always have a wine cellar. Where you
wine cellar, exactly.
Very good. Well pointed out. It means basement. Yeah. Cellar, basement is exactly the same. Perfect. Very good. And
okay,
Tatiana?
So, yeah, lovely. I love the expression to chit chat.
Yeah, great. Okay, the phrasal verbs we have here then are drop out, play around, move up, swat up on, which might be a new one for you guys, and tell on. And of course, if you remember in English, a phrasal verb is a verb and a preposition. And of course, the preposition changes the meaning of the verb. Guys, don't worry too much about phrasal verbs. They are quite difficult, but slowly, just learn them. Yes, some are logical. So don't worry, not all of them are completely illogical. There are a lot that you can, just by looking at the context of the sentence, you can understand what they mean. So like any language, slowly.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Yeah. And the definitions, Alex?
Yes. So how about we look at the first verb? So to drop out. Which of these definitions do you think is more appropriate? To feel like you belong somewhere? To advance to the next level? To have fun and not take things seriously? To report something to an authority figure? To study one topic intensively? Or to leave education early?
Now, to me, Alex, dropout is a very American phrasal verb. Am I correct?
Yes, I there's another way of saying it in American English, which is to flunk out.
Ah, okay.
To flunk, Flunk. It's quite slang. You can flunk an exam, but you can flunk out of school.
Okay. All right. See, I'm learning also. Okay. Any ideas what the first one is? Dropout. Shall we show them?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So dropout means to leave education early, means to leave school because you probably weren't good in your classes, and so you dropped out of school.
Okay. Play around. It's going to be, guys, any ideas? No? Okay. Play around is to have fun and not to take things seriously, which in a way, again, say is quite logical. Yes. Because when you play, normally you have fun. Yes. To play around. Yes. Is you just being happy, not taking things seriously. So maybe you can get the concept of that. Okay. Next one.
And very well done, Antonio. He's pointing out that education is also another false friend. So, yes, it means the education system, it not means being polite. So, very correct observation.
Yeah, it's
And
not to do with manners, no?
yes, exactly.
Ah,
And
okay.
as far as Tatiana will get to tell on in a few moments, how about move up? Any ideas?
So you're moving that way.
To move up. So let's see the answer. To move up means to advance to the next
Perfect.
level.
Yeah, because
Yes.
up has to go. Yeah, okay, excellent. To swat up on. My gosh, maybe this is very particular.
This
I
is
don't know.
particular. Yes, yes.
Very
Okay,
good,
yeah.
Antonio. You got that. Uh-huh.
Very
Okay,
well done.
so we have the verb to swat. Okay, to swat up is to study one topic intensively. Okay, in a big way. You can use it as a verb, to swat, or you can use it as a noun when we describe a person. They are a swat. Yes, a
Yes,
person can be a swat, or you can use it as an action, to swat.
yes.
Okay,
So it means
fantastic.
to study very hard. And I actually wasn't familiar with this word. So in American English, actually you can say to cram for an exam, to cram,
Mhm.
CRAM.
Perfect. Okay, and Tatiana, uh, great. She's got this one correct.
Let's see it.
Very
Very
good.
good. Yes, to tell on somebody is to report something to an authority. So that will quite be annoying for whoever you are telling on about. Yeah.
Okay, so the last one you guys can see anyway is to feel like you belong somewhere. Okay, basically is when you feel comfortable, okay, in an environment or in a situation. So you can use it like we're looking at today for schools or colleges. When you go there first, you may feel like you don't fit in, you're not so comfortable, but after 2 or 3 weeks, you start to fit in. Yeah, you start to feel comfortable. You're in a routine. You can also use it in a work environment. Yeah, you start a new job. Alex starts a new job tomorrow, and I see her maybe in 3 weeks' time. I could use present perfect. Have you fitted in yet? Oh, yeah, more or less. I'm starting to feel a bit better. Yeah, but so it's when you feel comfortable in a situation. Okay, I think that's it for today. Yes.
So I was asking, has swept up the same meaning of swat up? So can you answer
No.
that? No, I believe not.
You have the verb to sweep, which is very similar to brush. Yes. Okay. When you're cleaning the house, so the past simple of to sweep is it's irregular verb, so it's swept. So if you are cleaning the house, I could say I need to sweep the floor because it's very dirty. I need to sweep it. Then I see my wife later on during that month. Have you swept the floor? Yes, I swept up the floor. Yes, you can use swept or swept up. Yeah, the preposition can be used or not used. Yes, okay. And sometimes when you are swept up, it has a different meaning. Yes, you can sweep up something. You can absorb something also. Yes, okay. I haven't swept it up yet. Yeah, you haven't absorbed the information.
Yes.
Okay,
So
Anton. Oh, sorry.
just
I was
to
going to say,
say that our webinar ends here. So thank you all, everybody, for participating. You've been fantastic, very good English, and we hope to see you again. Please continue following this channel and participate in the webinars of Maya School.
yeah, thank you for your contributions, guys, and actively taking part today. And hopefully we'll be in contact again. And thank you very much, Alex. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you soon.